We have a new Dragon Prince graphic novel releasing soon, or at least relatively soon. I'll get to that a little later. It has the wonderfully evocative name of Bloodmoon Huntress, and it will discuss the backstory of one Rayla. Now, I meant to talk about this a little earlier, but I ended up getting distracted by my Amphibia videos, so even though I typically check the Dragon Prince Twitter and the Dragon Prince Reddit a couple times a day, I didn't, and lo and behold, while I was away, this big thing happened, and I was left scrambling. Which honestly is kind of funny. I'm not complaining. I think it's genuinely hilarious. Life is what happens when you're busy making other plans, as John Lennon used to say. But anyway, enough of that. Let's get right to Bloodmoon Huntress. What is it going to be about? What kind of new information is it going to give us? Quite a bit, I believe. But don't get too excited. It might be a while. The graphic novel will not release until a year from now, March 2022. Now, if Season 4 of The Dragon Prince does not release until after this novel comes out, that would mean we would have to wait an entire year to get the show, and that would be kind of horrible, but there's also no reason to believe that has to be the case. This is a prequel. It takes place before the events of The Dragon Prince. It isn't like Through the Moon, which is an entirely different case because that was intended to bridge the gap between Season 3 and Season 4. This is not. So it could possibly come after Season 4. Possibly it could prepare us for the 5th season of the show, and since it is about Rayla's past, perhaps that's a little hint of foreshadowing there. Perhaps Rayla's parents will become extremely important soon. Perhaps she'll free them at the end of Season 4, and so it'll be helpful for us to know more about the history between her and her parents before Season 5. Admittedly, this is just speculation, but what are you going to do? It's all speculation at this point. The paucity of information available to us is such that all we can really do is wildly speculate, and because of that, I was a little hesitant to even make this video. But the concept of the graphic novel is rich enough that I think it can sustain a little bit of wild speculation. I don't think we need to hold back. The announcement calls Bloodmoon Huntress a real action-packed tale, which fits Rayla. She is always the one who prefers action. She's always the one who prefers to charge right into situations, instead of thinking about them and planning for them as Callum would. She's the one who charges in and fights. Also, the announcement says that this takes place several years before our original trio meet, which is cool, though I'm left wondering how many years they mean. 2? 3? 5? 10? Is Rayla going to be like a tween, or is she going to be a really little kid? We don't know at this point. But we're probably going to get to see a lot of Rayla's parents, which is helpful, because I've been wondering a lot about her parents and her relationships with her parents. Now, when I've said in previous videos that Rayla's relationships with her parents seem a little cold, I've gotten pushback on that, which I guess is understandable. Speculating about a fictional character's parents not being the warmest people in the world, especially when they're good people in other respects, is a little bit of a taboo. I remember The Legend of Korra received so much backlash when it dared to suggest that Aang might not have been a perfect father. All I can say regarding Rayla is that my assertions are backed up through the text. They are contained within the show itself. Think about when Callum is talking about the relatively warm interactions he's had with his family, and Rayla just cannot comprehend that. She has been raised in an atmosphere where that kind of thing is not only not present, it's unthinkable. It's like if Callum had just casually said that his family loved to eat spiders. Now, to be quite frank, I'd love to be proven wrong about this. I don't want to think that Rayla had a relatively cold upbringing. If the graphic novel provides us evidence to the contrary, I would happily revise my prediction. Although I would still believe that this would be against the evidence the text has already provided us thus far. What's rather likely, much more likely, is that we'll see Rayla in conflict with her parents. Conflict is, after all, what inevitably drives good storytelling. Now, what would this conflict be about? It could be about anything, but it might be about humans. Rayla has a much more positive view of humans than does much of elven society. While we don't know for sure that Rayla's parents hate humans, they are probably more likely than your ordinary elf to have disdainful opinions of humans, considering that their job, their assignment, is to help protect the dragon egg of Thunderavazandum, the king of the dragons, from human invasion. Rayla, however, has a much more positive view of humans, though she tries to accept and regurgitate the views and values and customs of elven society, especially regarding humans. She essentially can't. She can't bring herself to do that. Training to be an assassin does not necessarily make her an assassin. She can't kill. She doesn't want to kill, and she especially doesn't want to kill humans. And she demonstrates this very early in the series. She has a rather open heart compared to a lot of elves. Because of her relatively radical view on humans by the standards of elven society, I would really like to see her interact with her parents regarding the issue of humans. I'd like to see that conflict play out. Rayla interacting with her parents is probably what I'm most looking forward to seeing in this graphic novel. It could give us a much better idea of what we are to expect when Rayla finally frees her parents from Viren's coins, as I believe she eventually will. All this is well and good, of course, but still, what are we to make of the title of this graphic novel? The Bloodmoon Huntress. It could refer to a lot of things. Perhaps it's a nickname Rayla gives herself, trying to make it look like she's much cooler than she really is. Maybe it's her just trying too hard to be the person that she believes she is supposed to be per the standards of her society. Now, it doesn't have to be that. It could be something else. Maybe the Bloodmoon Huntress is this kind of mythic figure in elven lore. Maybe it's a scary story, some sort of Halloween-type thing. Maybe there are all these intimidating legends about the Bloodmoon Huntress who comes out to take children at night, and Rayla is initially very scared of this because she's a little kid, and she eventually decides that she wants to try and work up the courage to go out into the woods alone and see if this Huntress legend is real and not be afraid. All of this is possible, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of it. As I've said in previous videos, Rayla is my favorite character in The Dragon Prince by a significant margin. Rayla's struggle between her changing views of herself and the conflict between elves and humans, wherein she becomes even more sympathetic to humans and to the cause of peace than she was before, is contrasted against her duties and her responsibilities and the expectations of who she is supposed to be. I mean, her parents are believed to be traitors, and she's believed to be a traitor. If she takes too much time advocating for the cause of peace, the elves most likely would think of her as a sort of traitor, even more so than they already do. But Rayla has to try and decide whether she actually cares about this, whether she actually cares what all the elves think. I mean, that's her culture. That's how she was raised, but if that's in conflict with the person she really is, and the person she really wants to become, how is she supposed to react? I don't need to know more about Callum. We know enough about him already, and Ezrin is just a kid. I really doubt there's a whole lot to know about him. Of all the characters in this entire show whom I would like to learn more about, Viren is number 1, but Rayla is a solid number 2. I really would like to learn about her story and the conflicts inside her head. If the graphic novel is going to give us more Rayla and more Rayla conflicting with her surroundings and her environment and her society, I support that wholeheartedly. I just really hope Season 4 of The Dragon Prince comes out sometime before this graphic novel releases. If I have to wait an entire year, another year, for Season 4 of The Dragon Prince, I'm gonna go crazy. It's already been 16 months. But still, the graphic novel looks amazing, and I'll hope for the best. So anyway, thank you all for watching. If you liked what you saw today, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Donate to my Patreon if you can, and you want to see more videos like this. Keep watching The Dragon Prince. The 3 seasons we have are really good. Hopefully we'll get more great seasons in the future. Fingers crossed. That's the best we can hope for. So anyway, tune in soon for my next analysis. It will be coming soon. I promise you that. I love this show. Thank you all again. Adios, comrades.